Hello and welcome to this Meet the Characters. Today we are chatting with Sophie, who plays the character Sekhet et Hotep on the adventures of the Windswift. Sophie, thank you for being with us today. All right, so when we are walking down the street and we see Sekhet walking towards us, give us a little bit of a descriptor. What do we see?
Well, she's an elf, so she's nice and tall at 1.70 meters, and she has tanned olive skin. She lives in a hot country, and black eyes, and she has white blonde hair, which is fairly unusual in the Sekhet. She doesn't weigh a lot, so she's probably quite skinny at 62 kilos, and she is 215 years old, which is fairly young for an elf.
Absolutely.
So I guess, yeah. So yeah, she, I guess, is quite attractive because people keep hitting on her, but, you know, being dappy and socially awkward, she has no clue why people keep hitting on her. And she's, yeah, she just strolls along, I guess.
Just lovely. Now, tell us a bit about her history. Where does she come from? What's she been doing for 200 odd years?
Well, yeah. So her parents died when she was very young, and they left her in the care of her eccentric uncle, who was a professor and a researcher into the world and magic and stuff and just general interesting stuff, living in Top Ep.
Yep.
Yep. And he felt the best way to educate her was to introduce her to his studies and research, which left her very socially awkward around her own age group. And she tends to be more comfortable with older people or researchers as a result. But her uncle died when she was about 140 years old, leaving her so young. Leaving her all his property, including his library. And this included a book that she was forbidden to read that he had authored. So for the next 50 years, she tried to continue his research and his studies while also sort of struggling with this wild magic that sort of had laid dormant until her uncle's death. Clearly the grief process was just too much. And she realized in the end that she was going to have to leave her uncle's house to continue his research into the world. And she joins the Order of Histari in order to facilitate this, but also to find structure and family again in her life. But she learns there to have more control over her magic and more spells. And while her burning desire is to understand more about the world and her place in it, she still hopes to one day return to her uncle's house and be able to understand all the knowledge that's in his library. And she carefully protects the book that she cannot read, believing it holds some terrible secret. But she doesn't actually know that inside the book lies the secret of her own beginnings and her own magic. Dun, dun, dun.
Interesting. So what are her goals now? Has she found family? What do you think?
I think she has found family in the crew of the Windswift. They help her in a few ways, and that's what she hoped to get from the Order. She wanted to help the Order keep the dragon away, because she senses they were the cause of the imbalance and the destruction that she hates. But this goal is sort of shifted with recent events, and now she just wants to stop parts of the Order that in her mind have gone bad and need to be brought back into the fold and being the correct way of being. And she still wants to find her place in the world. And she wants to know how history can give answers about the present and about the future. And like I said, one day she wants to go back to the library that her uncle had with all this knowledge that she's gained from her adventures on Windswift and in the Order, and have a deeper understanding of what the knowledge is held within that library. So she has some closer goals and then some distant goals.
Right. Who's looking after the library now?
It's all locked up carefully with spells and locks and everything else. But
Mm.
you know, she would have had servants that are also looking after the house and keeping
Mm.
it safe
Mm.
for her
Mm.
and
Absolutely.
tidy, because she's not very tidy.
And currently on the ship, you fulfill which function? What function does Sekhet fulfill on the ship?
I am sort of in charge of the gunners. I'm in charge of making sure, not so much that the you know, there's enough ammunition, because that's Jorik's job at Master of Arms, but she makes sure that the guns are in order. She makes sure that the guys who man them are trained up and know what they're doing. And she also provides a lot of firepower herself, because that's an element of her wild magic, is a lot of fire. And we don't really know why she has lots of fire spells, but she has a lot of fire spells. And she seems to gravitate towards them as well. So she's sort of her own ballista.
Lovely. Oh, there you go. Sekhet et Hotep, one of the valiant members of the crew of the Windswift. Well, if you want to see her in action, check out The Adventures of the Windswift, which airs every Monday on this channel. And you can go and watch episodes that have already been recorded, or, well, stay tuned for more as we continue on those adventures. Until next time, thanks for watching. Goodbye.